So welcome again to TÜV SÜD Insights in the World Hydrogen Week. And today we have with us Marcelino Cancela Vallespin. Marcelino is the head of project development in Europe for Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here and
Thank
for
you
giving me the opportunity to speak. Yeah.
Thank you. So, Marcelino, to start our interview, I would like you to introduce yourself and, most importantly, your personal journey in hydrogen.
Right. So yeah, my personal journey with hydrogen, I think, starts from the very beginning of my studies. Actually, I always had an interest in renewable energy and in energy transition already. In the beginning of the 2000s, let's put it that way. I studied physics and then I did a specialization in process and energy technology, which was mainly looking at thermodynamic topics. So it was really not so easy to find the fit with renewable energies, which were mainly based in at the time, especially in solar, wind energy, more mechanical or electrical systems. So I started my career just working in the industry as a process engineer at first, and then moving into different roles in equipment suppliers in the process industry, where I could develop a role as a technical expert in the one side, but also having a lot of interface with commercial topics for technology implementation in the process industry. And then my chance came with Mitsubishi Heavy Industries that I joined in 2019 as a project developer. At the time, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries was already a front runner in the hydrogen economy, also via their own investments, and also because they realized that basically they had to change something in their product portfolio from traditional power plants into the new transition. And that was a perfect fit for me, because that's where hydrogen and all their derivatives enter into place. That was very close to what I had studied at first. And I could use also my techno-commercial kind of expertise and implement it to the development of projects. So I've been doing this for 4 years now. Also getting quite some support from the company, also to help me grow in the market, and hopefully trying to bring the first projects to a more mature level very soon.
That sounds very exciting. Mitsubishi Heavy Industry is a global company.
Yeah.
So can you explain to me how it is positioned along the hydrogen value chain?
Yes. So Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, as you say, is a global company. We have several divisions that have something to do with hydrogen. We have the energy division, we have the plant and infrastructure division, and we have the aerospace and defense division. And in all these three divisions, there is already something to do with hydrogen, coming from the aerospace at first. That was the first experience of Mitsubishi in the use of hydrogen for rockets and so on. But there are different companies within the group, in the different divisions, that have something to say, let's say, in the value chain. And when we look at the value chain, we could look at production of hydrogen, where we are active in the one side supporting other companies in terms of investments with minority stakes sometimes for traditional electrolysis equipment, but also having our own development through R&D and hopefully becoming soon new products of our own, such as SOEC or AEM types of technologies. And then when we look at the transportation of hydrogen, then we can look at compressor technology. We can look at ships for transportation of, for example, ammonia. And then in the end use side, we have our key technology, let's put it that way, which is the gas turbine, which will be ready for 100% hydrogen fired and ammonia fired very soon, 2025 onwards. And last but not least, also in terms of use, of course, we can also look at the ship industry again in terms of methanol, ammonia. There are companies working towards sustainable fueling of ships, but also aircrafts with SAF, for example. So we have positions a bit everywhere in the value chain in terms of technology supplier. But now that does not make the trick. I think Mitsubishi needs to do a little bit more in the hydrogen economy to push the market a bit forward, and that's why we are also participating in developing the infrastructure. So we are taking a role as a co-developer generally, or developer of projects. For this we have a regional approach. We have our American colleagues from Mitsubishi Power also developing infrastructure projects. They are quite advanced with one of these projects, which is a very interesting concept, ACES. They basically have a full scope of hydrogen production, hydrogen storage underground in salt caverns, and production of power via hydrogen fired gas turbine. And this full concept is able then to deliver constant decarbonized power. In Europe, we have we use similar approach. We do lean more to partnerships. Not that they don't do it, but they've already developed this very strong concept. What we try to do is to support the industry, support partners that have already identified opportunities, projects, to improve their skill sets within the owner's team to drive successful projects forward.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And you mentioned pushing the market forward. And right now we see a multitude of projects being announced, and I would say a great ambition in scaling, in starting new hydrogen projects. But then we can also see a gap between this ambition and then the actual implementation.
Yeah.
So how do you think we can, investors, project developers, can fill this gap and push the market forward?
Yeah, that's a very good point, and indeed it's something that's happening. I do think that there's a lot of announcements because there is a lot of pressure in a way, or competition to secure the best locations for projects. And before having a whole concept or even a whole idea on how can you value your concept, there are decisions being made that force also the projects to basically make these announcements, maybe too early sometimes. But this is a question of competition. So once you have secured land, and you want also to secure that you will have a proper permitting structure. But this is sometimes done before you know what you are going to do with your project, let's put it that way. So you have not yet framed an opportunity in the right way because you did not have the time for that, and because all the project boundaries are not yet defined. So for example, you may not have an off-taker, you may not know how you're going to finance it exactly, but you have decided to invest because there's a belief that the market will be there. Now, how can we do help on that? So, what I see is also there are two ways of developing projects in the industry, because this is an industry in which we have contribution from different industries. So you have the renewable developers who are used to basically secure the land, secure the permits, and then build because it's in principle more simple in terms of the technology-wise. It is not a chemical process. It's just something you can install. It's more a mechanical installation, assembly, and so on, and they can go ahead with that. And of course, they are more easily able to secure offtake contracts because electricity power is already a market that is existing, right? On the other side, you have the oil and gas, chemical companies that are also involved in this, and they have a completely different approach, which is very front-end loading based. So really understanding your concept first before you are able to start doing anything, basically. And what we think is that it's neither of them that will fill the gap. You need to understand the complexity and not make decisions too early sometimes. But also you cannot stop until everything is clear before you can start moving. So what we can do is that we have a certain understanding of technology. We have a certain understanding of the cost that would be involved. So in these early phases, we kind of support our partners to make the right decisions, even though the whole boundaries are not yet fully clear, but to understand which decisions can you already take, which decisions it's better to postpone until you have clarity on certain aspects, and therefore, be able to mitigate the risks in a cascading way, not forgetting about a front-end loading approach, which I really very much believe in which you need to understand as much as possible of your opportunity and the boundaries of the opportunity and have strategical information that allows you to make decisions and plans to develop your project further. So, having said that, I think that we can have a middle way in which we can control project risk through a front-end loading approach with a phase approach without having to be very stiff with them and understanding that the market is evolving and being able to adapt to that situation.
Yeah. So strategic scoping, technical scoping, and planning. So
Yes.
these are let's say essential points investors should go through before before implementation. So then can you explain us, can you give us an overview of the project landscape, the projects on which Mitsubishi Heavy Industries is working on?
Yeah, so I explained before already about the progress the American colleagues are doing, and I will not explain that any further because I think it's better when they do it. So I can give more of the European approach to it. And in Europe we are mainly working in several opportunities, which I would try to avoid calling them projects yet because they are mainly in this opportunity framing phase. We have a number of projects. We are talking about 10 to 15 opportunities. Some of them, some more mature than others, right? But in all cases, we are focusing on this very initial phase approach in which we try to understand the value that can be created with a certain opportunity. Very often there is already land allocated, there is already an identification of where the power will come from. There is an idea of whether it be off-grid or grid connected. And based on all these elements, we bring our skill set in to shape the opportunity. I can give an example that is not confidential because some of the opportunities we have are confidential. But recently we announced that we will be studying together with Reganosa, a Spanish company working in the LNG sector, and Sojitz, a Japanese trader, and Rubis, which is a French company in the logistic sector. We are studying an opportunity in Spain to see which is the potential for a project to export hydrogen in the career it will be to Northwestern Europe. We have engaged in a pre-feasibility study in which we are basically trying to make decisions on basically this project framing or opportunity framing, and then be able to push that, to make that become a project that then later can be an investment opportunity.
That's a very interesting model, and I hope this will be the model which will be followed up also in the future to I would say fast forward the hydrogen economy and make it a reality.
Yes.
So my last question then, where do you see the projects actually growing and being implemented the fastest in the world?
So there I think that Europe and the US will be potentially seeing the first projects, not that they're going to dominate later on. And I can fundament my answer in the thinking on single-use type of projects. I think those single-use projects which can deliver already a business case, in which the off-taker is very clear. There's one single off-taker, and then you just need to produce hydrogen for that single off-taker. They are much less complex to develop, and I think they will see the light first. They will not be that big, but they will be the first projects. And I think typically that will happen in areas with a dense industrial texture, So I'm thinking about refineries, I'm thinking about steel mills and this type of applications. And then, as I said, single offtake, which makes the product concept much easier. There is a clear value. There's no difficult decisions to make. You can just basically go for execution very easily. And an example is what, for example, what Shell is doing in Rotterdam, in the city. But I think later on it will be again the US, Australia, Morocco, Western Sahara has amazing conditions, and they will be focused on the export, and they will come with much bigger projects, and they will add volume to the market.
So I see that Mitsubishi Heavy Industries is covering big segments of the value chain for hydrogen. So do you already have an example, an application for this?
Yes. So as a matter of fact, we do. So this whole value chain, it looks very nice in paper, but it's also been reality. So our colleagues in Japan, they have developed the Takasago Hydrogen Park, where all these technologies are being put to operation. Basically, it's kind of a big-scale demonstration center, where there's already hydrogen production with alkaline electrolyzer. Mm-hmm. There is plans for pyrolysis for turquoise hydrogen, and then this hydrogen can be then used as feed for gas hydrogen-fired gas turbine. That also comes with storage and with a full landscape of technologies that will be reality, are already reality, and then will be further strength in this Takasago Hydrogen Park.
Yeah. So having operating in a clear ecosystem is very important then. Yes. to make projects happen.
I think so, yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Marcelino.
Thank
it was
you.
A pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.